Geek Myths, a novel about life, love, and the pursuit of sonic screwdrivers. Available in paperback and Kindle edition from Amazon.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a slightly late Tin Dog podcast. This time talking about, well, the witchy one. It's episode 8 of the 2018 series. Only 2 left. Well, alright, there'll be one on New Year's Day, but 2 left of this series. Who would have thought it? It's as if it's just arrived and we're getting ready to say goodbye. It's a bit sad, but can't be helped. So, I'm at work and this is the only chance I've had this entire week to talk to you. Yes, Christmas is coming and, well, you know, on a day off you kind of have to sort the house out and get everything ready in order for other people to put the decorations up. I did intend doing it last night, but you know what? I just didn't have the energy. So, I'm with you now. Is that okay? Yes, I thought so. So, let's talk about witches. Let's talk about witches, baby. Oh, no, let's not do that. Yeah, let's never sing again, shall we? So, the internet reaction to the entire episode seems to be varying from great story to nice hat. We can't really have an entire podcast dedicated to nice hat. No, we can't. You know what? When it comes down to it, this episode kind of hinges on one factor. Yeah. You're dealing with witches. Now, you're dealing with magic, and Doctor has very strong opinions on magic. Okay, it appears to have very strong opinions on magic. See, for example, Blue Box Messiah for more details on that sort of thing. Everything has got a scientific reason behind it. With Torchwood, it's a bit more squishy and that kind of thing. But it basically comes down to science. You know that statement at the end of the episode where any technology that's sufficiently advanced, well, that's it. And you can also see the Shakespeare Code for that kind of thing. Blood magic and things like that. Yeah, I know that was the other... It doesn't matter. You all know the facts on it. You know what I'm talking about. You're my friends. It's fine. So, you're in the world of Nice Hat. No, you're not. You're in the world of magic and Doctor Who. So it's always going to have either a scientific or non-existent reasoning behind it. Yeah, you're with me? Now, recently we've been having a series of historical specials. They managed to skirt round the whole non-interference of the Doctor taking over and the Doctor stepping up and being all inspirational and things like that with Rosa really nicely. But with your witch hunts, you've got several things at play. One, it's a historical. You've also got celebrity historical storylines. But then, of course, because we demand it, the audience, you've got aliens turning up. But you know what? This whole series has been leaning further and further and further down the line of the aliens aren't really needed in the story. They've just been put in to, well, keep the dads happy. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's use that originally sexist phrase to mean the monsters. Yeah, let's do that. So, us old school fans are going, oh, the monsters, yay. But you know what? It wasn't needed for this. I was genuinely loving this story a lot. And then the monsters turned up and I was just a bit disappointed. I was like, oh, because I was expecting the monsters to be the people trying to take out the witches. And the big revelation was going to be that they changed their mind because, historically speaking, they kind of did. They shut everything down and went, don't be silly, it's ridiculous. Now, yeah, I've had a chance to do a bit of research lately into witches. Now, to be fair, I didn't exactly have far to go. Oh, the writer of this episode is on Twitter, and she put a post up about some of the books she was using originally, and I had a couple of them already in the house, but there was one that I've ordered off Amazon, and I'll be reading that one later tonight. Desperately looking forward to it. I've never even heard of it. My knowledge of witchcraft started obviously with some nice not Hammer films, but you know what I mean. The ones with Vincent Price. I'm the Witchfinder General. That one, yeah. all of those films. But obviously I'm a bit more interested because when I was a teenager I was very, very interested in witchcraft and magic and that kind of things, in a non-Harry Potter, slightly scary kind of a way. I will read your tarot for you if you really, really are pushed. That's another podcast for another time. I am more scientific based these days, but I do like using tarot for storytelling. I'm off topic, yes, stay on target. So, I knew quite a lot about witchcraft, and my favourite witchcraft story is something that I would love to write as a play. It's about a Geordie. That's, for someone outside the UK, someone from Newcastle. The Newcastle upon Tyne area, the northeast of England, not the northeast of the UK. And there was a travelling Geordie, and he was a travelling witchfinder. And he had quite a high success rate. He travelled around Scotland a lot. There's records of this in the Scottish witch trials. Now, when you're a witchfinder, you don't really get paid very much, but there are loopholes. You get gifts, which can be catalogued by the locals. You get stuff. You can send in expenses, let's put it that way. And this guy was very good at fiddling his expenses. And of course, you get paid for every witch you find. He was very good at finding witches, because you get paid quite a lot of money. And he was fiddling his expenses as well, because he had a witch pricker, a witch prodder. He had a bodkin, which is basically something used for big sewing or that kind of thing. It's like a large needle. He had a very special one. It had a retractable point, because if you poke a witch's mark of the devil, whether it's meant to be a superfluous nipple where the devil can suckle on your blood. Now, the fact that you could get bitten by a flea in the past probably means everyone's going to have these things, but if it didn't hurt, it was a witch's mark, yeah? Now, he would prod these marks with his retractable pricker, yeah? You are picturing Kenneth Williams saying pricker every time. Yeah, I get it. How good would Carry On Witchfinder have been? See, off topic again. Sorry. Anyway, so this Geordie would go around randomly finding women who were in trouble with the law and then say, oh, they're witches, poke them, apparently with his stick, reveal that they were witches, they'd end up dead. This happened in Scotland, and he ended up making a lot of money. Eventually, of course, it all came back and bit him on the bum, and he ended up dead. But it is a reasonably true story, and it's something I would really like to write as a story at one point. So I did a lot of research into that. I didn't know that much about the Pendle Witches. I had the 1954 book on it, and I just hadn't quite got around to reading it. But yeah, with this, the disappointment of aliens, because we'd been set up over the last few weeks to go, are there going to be aliens in this? Let's not have them. So I didn't really want them in this story. Yes, some of the effects towards the end were great, but that fake tree, that fiberglass nonsense, and chopping it down, yeah, it looked good on film, but it just didn't make sense. See the Oodcast for that one. In fact, I'll shove the sketch on at the end. Yeah. Also, little tiny moments kind of bubbled up and made me question things. Like, I know we've all got issues with the TARDIS translation of English, but the fact that Graham spotted a northern accent, oh, well, local, which of course isn't local to him, but let's not go there, and they're in Lancashire, which is more of exposition for the rest of the world, but you've heard English accents of various different types turning up in Doctor Who as translations for ages, because there's aliens who sound Scottish. Now, admittedly, the real world reason, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say Watsonian and Doyleist at all. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm so sorry. Those reasons are basically because it's a UK show and they've hired UK actors. But the in-show reasons is because that's how your brain translates the accent. But Graham's hearing the real accent, which is how come the Doctor sounds like she's from Sheffield, and so on. Yeah, so does this mess with the known facts of the TARDIS translation, or is this more to do with the implanted translator unit that's in Graham's back? Or should it not matter and I should just shut up? I suspect it's the last one. Yes, the very flat team structure gets my vote. The King saying, oh, are you actors? Yes, I know acting was illegal at this point, but that doesn't stop people being it. It's like, oh, are you a drug addict? Oh, but drug addicts are illegal. Yes, but they could still be drug addicts. I know actors and drug addicts are not the same thing in everybody's eyes, but you know what I mean. They could still be actors. They would just be illegal ones. The King's going to let that one go. So lines like patronised to death and all that business. It's lovely to have the gender swap actively and effectively explored and being made of a part of the plot where it belongs rather than just ignored. But that works because we're dealing with the past and we're dealing with the human race. And that works. You know what? You should have spotted that she was the villain early on. Apart from the fact that she's played by the woman from Happy Ever Valley who just outclasses everyone on the acting front. This is because she had all the horses shot. Hello, I had all the horses shot. I could be the villain. I suspect you are the villain. Why? Because you had all the horses shot. Oh yeah, and had more people killed than ended up dead in the entire witch trials. 30-odd people. There was about 8 people done in the original witch trials, the historical ones. So do we need aliens? Not always, and I never thought I'd be the one to say that. What does this mean for the future of Doctor Who? I just don't know. But I know for a fact that I've rambled for a long time about this story, and I'll be putting this podcast out without any editing at all. So I apologise. So if you want to get the books, there's the Fate of the Lancashire Witches by Arthur Douglas, and there's the Pendle Witches by Walter somebody or other. I'm doing that from memory. I just need to say that I thoroughly enjoyed this story. And yes, the mud monsters, I don't know whether they were effective or not. But you know what? I keep having to remind myself that this is a kid's show. Thoroughly enjoying this series. And welcome back. I need more stories from this author. And you know what? I think we'll get them. And if the BBC don't want to, knock on Big Finish's door, will you? Please. So with that, I'll fade away and let you get on with something else. Soon I'll be back with more Doctor Who chat, talk of UNIT, and of course of Star Cops. So until next time, be seeing you. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.
It was a pretty badly made prison though, wasn't it?
Finally, after decades of total war, we have vanquished the mighty and never-before-referenced Morax. Now we must find a secure place to imprison these evil warriors of chaos.
All right, mate.
Mate, I'll have you know I am the High Commander of the War Council of the Androzan, infamous butcher.
All right, love. I'm a bit on the clock here. You wanted a top security prison knocked up, right? Here's my card.
Lock 'em and how? Builders, plumbers, and tree surgeons?
That's what it says on the card. Cash up front preferred.
Yes, well, as luck would have it, we are in need of a prison. An impenetrable fortress that none shall ever escape from, to house the most dangerous intergalactic army in the galaxy.
Ah, yeah. Got ya. You want Prison Plus, then? Something a bit special, a bit, bespoke.
You could make this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we built the storm cage. No one ever escapes from that.
Apart from archaeologists and racist Fonz wannabes.
Sorry, love?
No matter. I want you to build this Prison Plus for me.
Great. We'll use high-tensile polycarbonate armour plating for the walls, build a moat, set up a system of laser grids, titanium barbed wire, proximity sensors.
How much will all that cost?
Oh, yeah, it won't be cheap, love. Oh, I can tell you that for nothing. Might run you a couple of million credits if you're lucky.
Do you have anything cheaper?
Yeah, we could do a scaled-down version. Steel walls, smaller moat, CCTV and a guard dog. Could do that for you for under £1 million.
Could you go cheaper still?
How about a reinforced concrete bunker for 10,000?
I'm embarrassed to say we can't afford that.
A metal box with spikes for $999.99 plus tax?
Maybe a tad lower?
I could bury them all in a pile under a tree for 20 creds, cash in hand, no questions asked.
Done.
Nice one. Sign here and I'll send a lad next Tuesday.